What's up, and welcome to episode number 51 of SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick'em plays for Monday, August 12th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG, at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app. If you use that code, you'll get a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $250. So it is definitely worth taking that time to put in that code when you sign up. All right, let's get into the show slip. The show slip was good to us last week. It's been good to us the last 2 weeks. We've had 2 winning weeks in a row. You know, honestly, that second half of July after the All-Star break got a little hairy for a minute, but things are coming back together. Pretty much every day on this show, the numbers I give out, the multipliers I give out on these picks is way ahead of what the closing line is. That doesn't mean you're going to win, but it means you're doing something right, and it means that we're beating a lot of people to the punch on these good picks. You know, there's hundreds of things on the board every day. Just because you make a good pick doesn't mean you deserve to win. At least when I say a good pick, I mean a good value pick. That doesn't mean you deserve to win, but it does indicate that the process is sound. So let's keep that momentum going. This is episode number 51. We've done 50 of these already. So let's make this second 50 super profitable. All right, everything today, at least the show slip, is all first inning picks. So the first one is going to be the Guardians versus the Cubs. Shota Imanaga versus Ben Lively, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. I'm going to start out by talking a little about Ben Lively here because, he's a guy that in general, I don't necessarily super believe in him. I don't think he's anything super special in Major League Baseball, but he has been very good in the first inning. First inning ERA, 0.9, 1.43 batting average against in the first inning, 0.85 whip, and he's only allowed 2 runs in 20 starts so far this season. 2 runs for the first inning in his 20 starts. So very good numbers there. And then also, the Cubs are bottom third of the league versus righties. Cubs are number 26 in first inning average. Their on-base percentage is actually considerably better than their batting average in the first inning. And Lively has had some bad walk games, but he's not a guy that I think is going to, be walking the bases loaded in the first inning. So I am happy that Ben Lively is going to be a part of this. And then the second side, just speaking of first inning average, the Cleveland Guardians are not that good either. They're number 22 in first inning average. And Shota is actually, quote unquote, worse in the first inning than Ben Lively because his ERA is higher at 2.57, but his batting average is better at 0.127, or I should say batting average against, and only a 0.76 whip. And also, as you know, Shota Imanaga has turned a corner in the second half of the season. He's been looking awesome. His last several starts, he's been looking more good than bad. And like I said, Cleveland is pretty mediocre in the first inning, and I don't think Shota is mediocre at all. And this is a even multiplier, 1x multiplier on your slip. Super good value. This is already juiced to under 0.5 innings in the first inning, or 0.5 runs in the first inning at sportsbooks. This is not going to close as an even multiplier. This is going to close at 0.9x, and I have a feeling at sportsbooks it's going to be about minus 135 for there not to be a run scored in this first inning. But offshore, I'm sure it'll even juice up to higher than that, to 140. So let's go to the second pick of this show slip. We're going higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed between Clayton Kershaw and Freddy Peralta as the Dodgers travel to Milwaukee to play the Brewers. Let's start with Freddy Peralta. He is a great pitcher who is absolutely terrible in the first inning. His first inning ERA is 6.65. His second and third inning ERAs are below 2. He's also good in the third, fourth. He's fine as well. Fifth inning, he's terrible as well. He's like a 5-point-something ERA in the fifth, but the first inning is just a total outlier for Freddy Peralta. He has allowed, I want to say 17 earned runs in 23 first innings so far this year. It's a terrible percentage. Just the amount of runs per inning is not great, which is why his ERA in the first inning is sitting way up at 6.65. And also, he's a righty going against a couple guys that might be able to hit righties pretty well, like Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, and Will Smith. Good luck with that one. Also, Tommy Edman should be making his debut potentially in this game. So there's a lot to like in the Dodgers lineup in this matchup versus Freddy Peralta. And then we're going to the other side. Clayton Kershaw making his 4th start of the year. Obviously, he got a super late start to the season after injury. He had an awesome start in his last game at home. He hasn't allowed a run in the first inning in his first 3 starts this season. It's all Kershaw is Cy Young mini in a in a contracted season. I know, I get it. But jokes aside, I really like Clayton Kershaw as a pitcher. He's awesome. I'm happy the Dodgers have him, and hopefully he can have a dominant postseason for once in his career. But he's also going against the Brewers, who have a ton of righties at the top of their lineup that can crush the ball. I have a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, back at the beginning of this show, I was talking about how the Brewers really crush righties and are terrible versus lefties. They were in the bottom third of the league versus lefties. That difference has compacted a ton in the last probably 6 weeks of the season. They were like number 2 in average versus righties and number 20 something in average versus lefties. Now they're number 11 versus lefties and they're number 5 versus righties. So it's, like I said, it's contracting a ton. They're basically in every meaningful category versus lefties. They're in that 10 to 15 range in MLB, firmly in the top half of the league. Obviously, they're still top 10 versus righties, but that doesn't really help us here versus Kershaw in this first inning. But let's look at some of the guys that are potentially going to be in those top 4 or 5 spots for the Brewers in this game on Monday. Jackson Chourio obviously is a stud. He's young. He's never faced Kershaw before, and his average and all of his metrics are actually pretty close between facing a right and a left-handed pitcher. That said, I think that he's just hitting his stride right now. If you're a true dog degenerate and listen to every episode of the show, you remember about a month ago when I gave out Chourio potential dark horse NL Rookie of the Year at 85-1. He's not going to win it. Skeens is too good. Jackson Merrill is too good. They're too far ahead of him already in the public's eye and the media's eye. But his number is down to 40-1. So, hey, good more CLV right there for Jackson Chourio. Then Rhys Hoskins obviously I don't know if he's going to be batting the top half of this lineup, but he's obviously live to go long versus anybody, and he's gone long versus Kershaw before, I believe. Gary Sanchez versus lefties, his slugging percentage is 100 points higher than it is versus righties. His OPS is 90 points higher. K percentage goes down, all that good stuff. William Contreras, batting 324 versus lefties while batting 271 versus righties. And his OPS is 850 versus lefties. So, yeah, he is pretty good in this matchup. Willie Adames, not actually that great in this line, or not very great versus lefties, surprisingly, considering he's a righty. And then Blake Perkins, switch hitter, 297 batting average versus lefties and 242 versus righties. So, a lot of guys who can do damage in this first inning versus Kershaw. But we used a ton of time going through the show slip. So let's get the odds out. It's going to be a 3x multiplier. This is straight up flat multiplier. Kershaw and Peralta higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed, with Imanaga and Lively lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. For a 3x multiplier, you put $10 down, you can win 30, 20, you can win 60, 100, you can win 300, whatever you are comfortable doing. That is the show slip. All right, at the top of the show, I brought up the promo code for this show, promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG, one word, at underdogfantasy.com or on the app. If you are a bettor, if you're a pick'em player and you have Underdog available in your jurisdiction and you're not using it with this promo code, what are you doing? You can get so much plus expected value. And again, the $250 is if you free $250 to bet with or to make picks with on Underdog or play fantasy with or do whatever else on that app you can do, because you can do so much with it. It seems like, you got to deposit $500 to get that, so it's not really good value. It's great value if you deposit $20 and get 10 for free, or 50 and get 25 for free. 50% free is 50% free, regardless of what the dollar amount is and what that money means to you. I just don't know how you could avoid it. And, they always have all these promos running. Look ahead to Thursday. There's an Angel Reese promo, higher than half a point scored in her game when the WNBA resumes. Obviously, I'm going to have a slip out for that on Twitter and on YouTube Shorts, so keep your eyes open for that one, because I've been crushing those promo plays. And then they also have an NFL Week 1 promo right now. That's Stephon Diggs, higher than 48.5 receiving yards. I think that is a super lock. I know that everyone's worried about what the target share is going to be with Tank Dell and Nico Collins and now Diggs in the mix. 48.5 yards is 3 catches for Diggs, and if he gets 4 catches, I would give this a 98% chance of coming through. He might be playing more slot in this system. He might, whatever. It's Stephon Diggs. He can make big plays. He's got a really good average reception length. And again, 48.5 is really low. That is a discount of about 17 yards. So, yeah, I would definitely jump on Stephon Diggs, higher than 48.5 yards receiving in NFL Week 1. All right. That's enough for Underdog and the promo. Let's get to the Dong Squad. Buxton hit Byron Buxton, I'm a big Bucks guy. He hit 2 home runs yesterday. I probably shouldn't take him again. Usually guys don't keep these streaks alive, but I have to. I can't. Brady Singer is a guy that I feel like is always about an inch away from having a total meltdown. He's had some good starts this year. He's had some okay starts, but he has long enough history in this league to know that he can just fall apart and melt and get leveled. Buxton is a guy that can level him. He's got a 467 batting average and 2 home runs versus Singer in 15 at-bats. Let's make it number 3. Next member of the Dong Squad is Will Smith of the Dodgers versus Freddy Peralta. This is mostly vibes. I watch the Dodgers every day. I'm a huge Dodgers fan, and Will Smith is right there for a big hit. He is due. He hasn't had a home run in over a month since the last time the Dodgers played the Brewers in that series in Los Angeles. He hit one versus Freddie then. Let's see him do it again here. Last one. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. versus Davis Daniel. Vladdy is still having one of the hottest second halves of the season of anybody in the majors. Davis Daniels, a youngish pitcher, not a very experienced pitcher, who I am trying to fade in the home run market every time he takes the mound. He's given up 4 home runs in 5 starts, but he doesn't stay in the game very long, so that means you get more time against this bullpen for the Angels as well, which we know is terrible. So you have a bad starting pitcher who can give up home runs, and then a terrible bullpen from the Angels after it's been depleted because they sold off basically every usable arm during the deadline, which is probably which is a big reason why Davis Daniels is probably a starter right now. But that said, I love having Vladdy on this slip. The Dong Squad slip odds are 65.62x if it goes 3 for 3 and 8.75x if it goes 2 out of 3. That is all I've got today. Let's make some money.